What's up guys, today we're going to be ranking the best planars of 2025 so far, and I'm going to be including the micro planars as well. Starting with the best all-rounders, we have the 700Hz Timeless 2 and the Kiwi Years Aether. Now, the Timeless 2 is very smooth, it's very natural, probably the most natural planar that I have heard so far. Doesn't sound like a planar at all. The bass is well balanced, it's textured, it's well impact, the vocals aren't too shouty, the treble is well extended, it has that slight airiness to the sound, and overall you have a lot of tuning preferences with the nozzles as well. Good variety, good timbre, and solid tech on top of that, so just a very good all-rounder. Then after those, the Aether is slightly cleaner. It has a more sub-bass kind of focused sound. It's not as smooth when it comes to the treble. It still has that slight sizzliness when it comes to the treble region, but overall it's not like super sizzly like the Brain Damage. So very good bass texture for a planar and very clean, good separation, good technicalities, and just does everything back very well. Then lastly, we have the SIMGA ET142. This is the most dynamic set out of the two. It has the most difference when it comes to the tuning options. It goes from bright to all-rounded to kind of like balance, and then to a warm bassy sound. So if you want the most difference in terms of the sound preferences, then the ET142 would be a solid pick. Now as for an honorable mention, we have the Kiwi Years Quintet. It has two planars in it. It's not as refined as the Timeless 2. The bass isn't as textured as the Aether either, and overall it's just a little bit like sharp, a little bit metallic sometimes, but it's still very good, very detailed, still a good all-rounder set. But the Timeless 2 and the Aether are just slightly better and when it comes to variety, the timbre, and the bass. And likewise, the S12 2024 falls into a similar boat. It's very well balanced, it's a good all-rounder set, but it's just not as refined when it comes to the timbre versus the Timeless 2. It's not as smooth, and then the bass isn't as good as the Aether and not as clean. Now as for the best value planar, this is still the T10. You can get these for around 40 to 50 bucks on sale, and there are some IEMs that are also around that price range, but they're just not as well tuned as the T10s. Good technicalities, it does the job, and overall it's a very good starter set if you want a planar. Now as for some honorable mentions when it comes to the value section, we have the Planar, we have the F1 Pros, we have the S12 2024, the P1 Max 2, the high-des and P145. These are all very good for the price, but it's just not as good as the T10 because it's 50 bucks. And at that price, when you're reaching around $200, I would just get, save up for the Timeless 2, or you can just get the Aether, which is also like around 170 bucks. So because of that, they are honorable mentions, even though they are good, value as well. It just doesn't outcompete the T10s. Moving on, if you want the most neutral set, so not too much treble, not too much bass, well balanced, kind of like monitor, just like kind of like relaxed, laid back, then I would recommend the Lecture S15. It's not the best when it comes to value, but for a neutral set, it's very good. It's laid back, there's no like sharpness, there's no peakiness, there's enough fullness of the sound, there's enough vocals, and the treble isn't over boosted and artificial. As for some honorable mentions, we have the Dusk and the 5+2, which are both rocking microplanars. These are neutral but slightly treble emphasized because of that sizzliness when it comes to the treble. The Dusk has that treble boost, the 5+2 has that treble boost as well. And overall, if you want a more neutral and more natural timbre set, the S15 would be better. Another honorable mention would be the Tri i3 Mark IIIs. These are also very clean, very neutral, slightly treble emphasized, but the timbre isn't as good as the S15. It's just more natural and a little bit fuller overall. As for vocals, my pick here would be the EPZ P50. It's very clean, great clarity, great extension to the notes, very good female vocals, but also solid male vocals as well. Overall, the timbre is pretty good for a planar, and it's just a very solid vocal set, and I would say it's one of like the benchmarks if you want clean and just like uncolored vocals. Next, we got some treble sets. If you're looking for more energy, more excitement, more detail when it comes to treble region, we have two options here. You have the SIMGA ET142 with the blue nozzles. These are a bright leaning set. It's very dynamic. You get a lot of clarity, a lot of details, and overall, it's a good, slightly energetic sound, kind of like the original S12, but a little bit smoother, a little bit less energetic, and overall a slight bump in technical performance over that as well. On the other hand, if you're looking for something that's smoother, something airier, but still has that like slight sizzliness to the sound, the Meyer CK2V would be my pick here. It's gonna be not as dynamic as the ET142, but overall it's more laid back. You still get that like treble the slight brightness and you get the airiness from the sound and very good micro details as well. Now as for an honorable mention, we have the Kiwi's Melody. If you want something energetic, exciting, but also very bassy, this is a V-shaped type of sound. It's a mid-volume set. It's got the energy in the treble, the extra details in the treble, but also it has that bassiness and that slam and that fun factor if you're looking for like a V-shaped sound. Some other honorable mentions would be the Kiwi's Kanta, the Tian Azure Dragon, and the Tangzu Wuzutia Legend. Now personally, I do find these to be a bit too bright. Some of them are just a little bit unnatural when it comes to the treble, but if you are a treble head and you want just more excitement and more energy, then these would be an alternative. But speaking of warm and bassy sets, we have the RD-T10 Pros. These are warm, they're thick, they got the body and the no weight and the sound, but it also has the extension and the extra bit of air and the treble that gives it that like dreamy kind of feel, but also warm at the same time. It's a mini version of the Symphonium Meteors, and I think it's a good alternative to your collection if you don't have something unique like this. Then lastly, for scaling, we have the Lecture S08. These are essentially just a planar version of the Explorer. It's got the same like neutral bassiness to the sound. It doesn't scale as well as the Explorer. It has a little bit more treble, has a little bit more boost when it comes to the vocals. But overall, if you like the Explorer and you want a little bit more separation, maybe slightly more boost when it comes to the vocals, but you still listen fairly loud, then these are a solid option and very good if you want to just like crank these up. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know what your guys' favorite planar has been so far. There just has been a crap ton of them coming out, and I'm looking forward to what Sapphire has cooking up next. Anyhow, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see everyone in the next one.
Shout out to Rark's Cat, Dom Q, Disco Scaldus, B, Urak, Mystic Spoon, Attack, Walker Standard, User, Patrick, Polly J, Mr. Gorillas, Anton Risto, Gis Seng Yun, Christopher Jackson, Name, Henry Claudia, Son of a Horse, 777ZK, Ben Thompson, Obi, Wizard, Frickalicious, Andrick, Ricardo, Tapas, Oh Really, Contain Guava Juice Gains, Shrint Buckley, Forever New, Triple Well Extended, and Chuck Norris. Thank you guys so much.